Hi everyone, welcome, and congratulations on being admitted to the University of Ottawa. My name is Sébastien Bianchin. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and also an international student advisor here at the university. Today, I will show you how to apply for your study permit. First of all, I will show you how to connect to your IRCC portal. There you'll be able to determine your eligibility and generate your personalized list of documents to submit. Then, I will show you how to fill the IMM 1294 form. This is a document that you have to fill when you want to apply for a study permit from outside Canada. Lastly, I will show you how to upload your document, pay for your fees, and submit your whole application. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Enjoy! All right, we're back. And this time we are in front of our computer and I'm going to show you how to log in into your secure IRCC account and prepare your application for study permit. Right? So the first thing you want to do will be to open a web browser like this. And now you have two solutions. Either you know the address of the portal by heart, or maybe you bookmarked it. But if you're like me, you just type myCIC here in Google. And you're going to want to select the first link here. All right. And here to sign in, you have two solutions. You can either use a GC key, username and password. GC is for Government of Canada. Or you can add the Canadian Interact sign-in partner. We recommend you to use the first method because first of all, the second method that probably doesn't work for you because you need a Canadian bank account. Right, so if it's the first time you apply for a study permit in Canada, most likely you don't have a Canadian bank account, so you won't qualify for the second one anyway. Plus, I mean, that's only me maybe, but plus you don't want to always have to connect through your banking credential to connect to IRCC, right? So let's use the GCKey username and password. At that stage of the video, we assume that you already have a GCKey account, that you have your username, password, security question, everything. If you don't have a GCKey account right now, pause the video and click here to register for an account. Or you can even follow the video that we have too that can help you. I will post the link of the video on the description of this video. So once you have your username and password, we can go ahead, all right? So let's go here. We click your GCKey connection. Now they ask you for your username and password. So here we have a demo account. Here, so username, password. We sign in. You have the first screen, the welcome screen here. It will show you when you last signed in. That's very useful. And also from this screen, if you want to change your password, if you want to change your recovery questions, revoke your GCKey, stuff like that, you can do that here. We won't do that right now, but you could. So we just go here to continue. And here we are on the page of the two-factor authentication. When you open your account, when you create your GCKey, they ask you about they ask you to choose a method of two-factor authentication. It could be a software that you put on your cell phone, or it could be a one-time password that they send you by email. We chose this option. So, and you can see here they said that an email with a one-time passcode has been sent to us. So let's go and see. Yeah. So you see GC here. Just gonna copy this one-time password, come back here, paste it here, and continue. Okay, we skip this one, so continue. And here you have the term and condition page. I advise you to read it at least once. Right? Maybe the first time you connect, you can read that. Let's say we read it, so we just accept. And then here, they will ask you for a security question that you have chosen yourself when you created your password. So, okay, move. Okay, and now we are connected in our IRCC secure account, right? First thing you can see here is your name. So for this particular segment here, we use the a fictitious student that we created. Her name is Isabella Garcia, and that's her account. You can see here that the top part of this portal has actually two different sections. The first section is the list of applications that you've submitted. So in the case of Isabella, she hasn't applied for anything. She didn't apply for a visa or anything else before. So she doesn't have any submitted application here, but you could very well have some. And here is a list of all the applications that you've started but not submitted yet. By the end of this this section, I will show you. I will show you when we start an application and not send it yet. I will show you what it shows here, because this is an important thing. You don't have to fill out your application completely the first time you connect. So you have basically 60 days to submit your application once you created it, right? I will show you that. And then on the bottom part of this portal, you have different options of things that you want to do. What we want to do here is apply to come to Canada. Right, so we just click here. Here they ask us if we have a personal reference code. That's for people who actually use the Come to Canada wizard to determine their eligibility. We didn't do that. We're going to do it now. So we skip this first part, personal reference code. We don't have one. So we go here. I don't have a personal reference code. And we can determine our eligibility and apply online here. So we're gonna click on the first button here, where it says visitor visa, study permit, or work permit. That's what we want to do. So we click here, and then the system will ask you a few questions to determine our eligibility. Right. So the first part will be to determine our eligibility. So just to see if we are eligible to apply for a study permit. And the second part will be to generate our personal checklist of documents. Right. So let's start. What would you like to do in Canada? So we want to study, right? How long are you planning to stay in Canada? We want to stay more than 6 months. Okay. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. So in my example, Isabella is from Argentina. So let's put Argentina. Of course, you put the one that corresponds to your country of citizenship. What is your current country of residence? So she's Argentinian. She could very well live in anywhere in the world, but she lives in Argentina still. So what I mean is that your country of residence doesn't have to match the country of your citizenship, right? You could be a citizen of country A and live in a country B, of course. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen? So let's just click here to see what they mean by family member. In this particular case, a family member is a spouse or a common law partner or a child, right? So in her case, she's not married, she doesn't have a boyfriend, and she doesn't have children. So let's put no. Date of birth. So she was born 2005, 1st of January. Are you a permanent resident of the United States? So basically, do you have the green card? Yes or no? So she doesn't, but if you do, just choose yes. And this is the most important question, of course. Have you been accepted to a designated learning institution, right? We can click here actually. A designated learning institution is a school in Canada that can provide study permit, right? So in your case, you would say yes, because you all got the letter of acceptance from the University of Ottawa. What is your marital status? So she's single here. Of course, if you're married, you choose married and so on. What is your province of destination? So that would be Ontario. Here. And then based on our answers, the system will tell you that we are eligible for study permit, which is exactly what we want to do. So that's good. Let's continue. And now we're going to get some more questions. And based on our questions, they will create some personal checklist of documents, right? documents that we need to submit applications. So, do you have a valid work permit or study permit and need a visa to return? So that's very specific question. That question is for people who actually do have a work permit or a study permit and want to come back to Canada, and maybe their visa is expired. So it's not the case here because we want to apply for our very first study permit. So we don't have study permit, we don't have work permit. We just say no. Are you an exchange student? So depending on your case, you will just put yes or no. Let's put no here. Is work an essential component of your studies? So that's the question about co-op work permit, right? So if you have a mandatory work component in your studies, most of the time it will be actually written on your letter of acceptance. If you have that, you would say yes, right? In our case, we could say no. We could put no because it doesn't have a work component for studies. But if you say no here, and the situation changes somehow, you can always apply for co-op work permit once you're in Canada, okay? So just put yes or no depending on what's on your letter of acceptance. But if you say no here, don't worry. If you need one, you can still apply for one once you're in Canada. Are you a spouse, common law partner, or a child of a certain skilled worker? No, in our case. And same thing here, if you got a scholarship, you can put yes or no, right? She doesn't have a scholarship. Are you accompanying a family member that has status in Canada? So in our case, no. But if you have like a spouse or someone that has a status, you can put yes. Have you ever committed a crime or been arrested or charged for some criminal offense? So in our case, we say no. But if it's your case, you have to say yes, and of course you have to explain, right? Oops. Have you had a medical exam performed by IRCC authorized panel physician? So the medical exam is mandatory for people who actually lived in what we call a designated country for the past 6 months in the past year, right? Or for people who wants to work with children or patients, like in the healthcare system. So in our case, we put no. And you see, they ask us for if we have visited or lived in one of the designated countries for 6 consecutive months the last year. So if we did lived in one of those countries, you would have to say yes, and then the exam will be required. The medical exam will be required. I will probably put the list of the designated countries somewhere in the description of this video. But in our case, we just say no. If you do have a medical exam because it was mandatory for you to take, of course, the system will ask you for the proof of medical exam. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? So if you have a spouse, for instance, and you do want to, because you know the spouse of a student, they can apply for open work permit. So if you want to apply at the same time for the open work permit of your spouse, you can do it here. You could select yes, and then they will ask you questions about your spouse first for the work permit. So let's put no because she's single. Do you give access to someone to your application? So we put no here, but this is a question about, for instance, representative. So you could hire a consultant or a lawyer to help you with your application, and if it's the case, you would put here yes. Okay. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints, your biometrics? So biometrics are mandatory now for any kind of application, either work permit, study permit, PR application. You always have to give your biometrics. So if you haven't done that, you have to say no, and they will ask you to provide them, and there's an extra cost. So it's going to be an extra $85 for the biometrics, but it's mandatory, so you have to do it. So if you haven't done it, then you have to say no, and they ask you to provide your biometrics. There are fees associated with application. Will you be paying your fees or are you fee exempt? most of the students, like 95% of the students, more or less, do need to pay fees. Some of the students, there are some special measures for some students and they don't have to pay fee. If that applies to you, then you can say, no, I'm exempt from paying the fee. But in this case, yes, she's going to be paying the fee. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents? So you have to send a copy of your passport, photos and stuff like that. So we assume that you are able to use a scanner somewhere or a camera. So yes. I actually don't know what happens if you say no. Will you be paying your application fee? Of course we will. To pay online, you have to use a credit card. So let's assume you have a credit card. It doesn't have to be your credit card. It can be a credit card of your parents, siblings, your friend. It doesn't have to be the one with the name of the applicant on the card, right? So yes. Okay. And here we can review our answers. So you see date of birth, everything that we enter is now here. If we made a mistake, we can always change an answer by clicking on the small pen here, right? And even later we can do that. So let's say we didn't find any mistake right now, but there is one, and then we find it later. It's all right. As long as you haven't sent your application, you can always change your answer here. So let's say everything's correct. Continue. Here you have first page when they show you all the steps to sending your application. So use your account, save your application, upload your documents. Here you can even see the format that were accepted. So PDF, JPEG for the pictures, and even doc format can be used, and pay your fees. So we go ahead and continue. And here is your personal checklist of documents. So based on your answer, you get a specific checklist. So some of the documents here are common for everyone. So every person that applies for a study permit will have to fill this form, the 1294 forms, which I'll show you how to fill later. Everyone has to send some kind of family information form. It could be the 5707 like it is here, and sometimes they can ask you for another one which is more complete. The 5707 forms only ask you to list your parents and children or spouse also. The other one asks you to list also your siblings. But it's basically a very easy form to fill. Just fill the name of your parents, siblings if they ask you, and children. Your passport, copy of your passport, letter of acceptance from the school, proof of means of financial support. We'll discuss how much you should provide in the next section of the video. Photo, and here you have some optional documents. So this IMM 5257 Schedule 1 is optional. They might ask you to fill this form if you give certain answers on the main form, this one, the 1294 forms. At some point in the form, they ask you question about the background questions, and if you answer a certain way, they might ask you to fill this one. But otherwise, you don't have to fill this one. It's optional. Because technically this is an application form for a visa. But what I didn't mention is that if you apply for a study permit, you don't have to apply for the visa. The visa will be technically when you apply for a study permit, you actually apply for the visa too. So once your application is processed and it's at the end and everything goes well, it's accepted, they will send you a request for your passport, so they can stamp the visa on your passport for people who need the visa, right? The other one, for people who don't need visa, you will get an ETA on your letter of introduction. Client information, that's also an optional section, but this one is very important because we always advise students to write a letter of explanation and basically a study plan saying why you want to apply to Ottawa, when you want to study here, why, what do you want to do after your studies, and so on and so forth. So this is very important. It's not mandatory again, but it's very, very useful and I really advise to do it. And then you have the list of the fees here. So the total will be 235 here because you have to pay the 150 for the study permit application itself and the 85 for the biometrics, right? So here, just to show you, before we go to the next section and I show you how to fill this IMM 1294 forms, I will just go ahead and exit the questionnaires here. And you can see here, they'll tell you, you have 60 days, including today, to complete this application. So if I do continue, I go back to the main page, remember? And here, you see now in the list of applications that I haven't submitted, I have this one, the one I just created right now. And I still have 60 days to submit it. So if I go to continue application, again, I can modify my answers here if I want to, and then continue again. And then here I can fill, I can upload some of my documents, right? So you don't have to do everything in one day. You have 6 days to do it, so you have time. You could maybe provide your passport right now because you have it on hand, and then upload the form later on in a few days, right? So I just go ahead and exit here again, and then I will prepare the form, and we can discuss, and I can show you how to fill it. Okay, so the next section will be about filling the application form for study permit, right? I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so now that we have our list of documents that we have to give for our application for study permit, the most important one is probably this one on the screen. So that's the IMM 1294 form. This is the form for an application for study permit made outside Canada. And we're going to go through the document together. So as you can see, I already started filling the form for Gabriela, but we're going to go through all the questions together and help you with your forms. So the question one, what they ask you is the UCI. UCI is for Unique Client Identification. So this is a number that IRCC gives you when you apply through the immigration system. So whether you apply for a visa or work permit or study permit, the first time you apply for something, they will give you a number, right? This is a 10-digit number, and this is unique to you, and this will follow you all your immigration life. So in the case of Isabella, she never applied for anything, not a visa or study permit, nothing. So she doesn't have a UCI right now. So we leave this we leave this box blank, right? As you can see, there are some questions when you can see some stars here. Like if you look at box number 2, and either don't have stars. So the one with stars are the one that you have to answer, okay? That the question that you have to provide an answer for. So if we go question 2, you see I want service in, and here you can choose English or French. This is another parenthesis that I do. There are some boxes when you have to write something, like in the case of your name or given names, you have to provide the answer. But for some question, you have a drop-down menu like this, right? English, French. So here we select English. Name, Garcia. Given name, Isabella Armando. Sex, you can choose female, male, unknown, other gender, so female. Date of birth, that's easy. Be careful here, there's a year, month, day, not year, day, month. Place of birth, country of birth, citizenship. Everything here is fairly easy. Current country of residence. So she's from Argentina, and she actually currently lives in Argentina. So I selected Argentina, and her status in Argentina is citizen. She could have lived somewhere else. So let's say she's a student in where? She's a student in Armenia, for instance. If you select this, let's say she's a student in Armenia, then you can see these two boxes pop up. They come up here. So here you would have to answer from when the study permit in this case was issued and when it expired, right? But in this case, she's a citizen. And let me put back Argentina. Yeah, okay. And here they ask you about previous country of residence. So if you have lived in another country for 6 consecutive months in the past 5 years, you have to fill the boxes here. And you can see when something doesn't apply to you, the boxes are gray like this. This is also very important, country where you apply. So you can only apply from your country of residence or your country of citizenship. So in her case here, she can apply only for Argentina. But if you were, if you are a citizen from country A and you're living in country B, then you can technically apply from A or B. And this can be very useful sometimes because depending on the country, the processing time can be different. So it can be useful to choose between A and B if you have the opportunity. Okay. Marital status, she's single, but again here, if you're married, then you would select married, and then you have to provide your the date of the date of your wedding and the name of your spouse, right? So let's put single back. Yeah. Language. So they ask you for your mother tongue. You see the list is quite long here. So here we put Spanish because she's from Argentina. And are you able to communicate in both English and French? So let's say both. And for this video, she's let's put English here. She's most at ease in English. Passport number, country of issue date, expiration date. If you have another document, like if you have another national identity document, then you could put it here. Same thing if you have the green card from the US, you can put it here, green card number and your expiry date. Contact information. So here you have to put your address. But you can see here you can provide 2 addresses. So if you have, for instance, if you have a lawyer or someone who helps you with the application, the first address here would be the address of the lawyer, and then the second one would be your residential address. In this case, the mailing address and residential address is the same. Anyway, in any case, they won't send you anything by post. In this case, the case of an application for study permit, you will receive your letter of invitation directly from your IRCC portal. Phone number, so you can choose here if it's a cellular, residence, or business number. Let's say it's a cell phone here. Fax number and email address. Right? And here is the most important part of the form, I guess. So this is the section about the details of intending study in Canada. The first one is the name of the school. So that would be University of Ottawa. The level of study, what it will be. So in this case, in the present case, you will do a bachelor degree. And here you can choose the field. So the list is not that big, but try to do the best you can to find the things that match what you're doing. So in this case, we'll make it simple and say that she studies in social science. The address of the school, so province will be Ontario, city Ottawa, the address here, and this designated learning institution number. This is a number which starts with O. Every single school in Canada that provides study permit has to have this number, right? And again, here you don't have to know this number by heart. This number will appear on your letter of acceptance from the school, right? So that's the number for your Ottawa. Same thing for study number, that will appear on your letter of acceptance. Duration of studies. So let's say she does a bachelor studies or a bachelor degree, so that will be 4 years. And let's say she start with the on the fall 2024. So she will finish on fall 2028 technically. And what we advise you to do is to always add like 90 days, like 3 months after your studies, just to have time to apply for your PGWP, for instance, or just in general to have time to apply for whatever you want after your study. So here she's supposed to finish on fall 2028. We add 3 months to that, so that will be the end of March 2029. The cost, so her tuition fee would be $20,000 for 1 year. And on top of that, the government of Canada asks you to be able to show at least $21,000 more, right? It used to be $10,000, but now it's a bit less than $21,000. So again, you have to show that you have enough money to come to Canada, and you have to show that you have enough to cover your tuition fee for 1 year, plus $21,000. Okay, so that will be here 41,000. But you can see here that I put 45,000. It's always better to have a bit more, right? And not just exactly what I ask you. So if you have $45,000 in this case, that's perfect. Here you have to show who is going to provide this money, who is going to pay for the tuition and the living expense. So that could be yourself, the parents, or other. If you choose other, then it will be the box here. And then you have to provide explanation. Who is this other person? It could be a sibling, could be a friend. So here's going to be parents. Education, here you have to mention all your post-secondary education. In this case here, she's still in high school, so I said no post-secondary education. Same thing for employment. Here you have to list all your employments in the past 10 years, right? So in her case, she's a student since she's in high school since 2019. Sorry, so I just put here that student high school in Argentina. If you have work experience, past work experience, you have to list it here. And as you can see, you have only 3 lines here. So if you have more than 3 work experience, you're going to have to do an appendix. So usually what people do is that you can reproduce this table on Word or Excel and then fill it, and then you will have to send this appendix on the client information section on your IRCC portal. And then to finish, you have some background information that you have to answer. Most of those answers should be no, but if you have a yes, you'll have to you have a box there to explain, right? So basically the first one is if you have tuberculosis, or if you were in contact of someone who got tuberculosis, if you have mental or physical disorder, if you have been refused visa or entry to Canada or another country. So that's very important. So if you have been denied visa to another country like the US or any kind of country, you have to say yes and explain, right? Have you been arrested? Did you serve in the military? Have you ever been a member of a political party? And witness of ill treatment of prisoners, for instance. So no. If you answer anything from 3 to 6 here, if you answer yes, you're going to have to fill this IMM 5257 Schedule 1. That's the one that was I mentioned in previous part of the video when it was in the optional documents. I mentioned that you don't have to fill it, but if you answered yes to one of those questions, then you have to fill it. And then finally here, do you consent to be contacted by CIC? I don't actually know what happens if you say no. I don't think it's mandatory. So, but always put yes. It's they actually don't contact you so much. And finally, you need to sign your application. So don't do what a few students still do, is that you cannot print this form, sign it by hand and scan it. because this form has a small software embedded to the form. So if you print the form, you will destroy that software, and you won't be able to upload the form to your portal, right? So just put your name, just write your name there, put the date, and then at the end you have to validate, right? So we click here, it takes a few seconds, and what it's going to do is that it's going to generate some barcode. Yeah, so you can see the validation is complete. And another few seconds. Yeah. So here you can see it generated some barcodes here. Those barcodes are used by IRCC to actually read your file. So those barcodes, they contain all the information that you just provided on the form. So basically, when you upload the form to your secure account, so your secure IRCC account, IRCC will just download the forms and read the barcode here and get all your informations, right? So now that we know how to fill this form, the next step is to upload your documents on your IRCC portal. I will show you how to do that, and pay your application, and then submit everything, and that's it. So in the next part, I will show you how to upload this form and the other documents to your IRCC portal, and where to go to pay your application and send your application, right? All right. For the last part of this video, I will show you how to upload your documents. Now that you have all your documents, that you've completed all the forms, the last step is to actually upload your documents and pay for your application and then submit it, right? So for that, we'll just go back to our IRCC portal. You can see here that we are back in Isabella's account. And if you remember here, we've studied the application. So we now have here in this section application that you haven't submitted. We have one application that we haven't submitted. That's the one. And we just click on continue here. So click continue application. Again, here, if you want to change one of your answers, you can still do it by clicking on the pens here. That was probably the last time you can modify that, because once it's submitted, you won't be able to modify anything here. Continue. You skip that, so we just continue here. And then we have our list of documents. Here you can see that I already uploaded everything, but I will show you again how to upload the form, but that's very easy. So I uploaded the IMM 5707 form, which is the family information form. I uploaded a copy of my passport, letter of acceptance from the school, proof of financial support, photo, and here in the optional document, I've even uploaded a letter of explanation / study plan to explain why I want to study in Ottawa and so on. And here you have also to submit the form that we just filled in the previous section. So what you want to do is that I do update, but it could be upload document. So here you browse, and you'll see here IMM 1294. So you click here, upload file. Takes a second. Yes. And now you can see that success, everything is uploaded correctly. So you just return to document. And then you can see that everything is indeed not submitted, but uploaded. It actually says uploaded, not submitted to IRCC. To submit, you have to continue and to actually pay your application. So that's what we want to do now. So you see now we have a new button here that was not there before. The next button, so you just click on that. Again, that's the documents. You can see the list of documents that you sent. Here you have to read this declaration, this privacy notice. So let's say you read that. At the end you have to agree. So you agree to that. Here you have to say your given name. So Isabella Garcia. And then there's a security question. That's the one of the questions that you had to come up when you created your account, right? So there, and sign here. Okay. See again, they show you this page. It's a bit different now. Now you have to transmit and pay. So you go there. You have the summary of the fees that you have to pay. So that will be the 150 for the application processing and the 85 for the biometric. So transmit and pay. And here you have to put the name of the person with the card. So again, it doesn't have to be your credit card. It could be your parents, it could be your siblings, it could be your friends. So anyone that can help you pay your fees, they can do that. So you have to put the name of the card holder, the card number, the expiry date, and the the code on the back side of the card. I won't do it for this application because I won't pay $2.35 for the video. But yeah, once you fill all this fields here, you just click on checkout, and if everything is good, they will confirm the payment and also confirm that your application is sent. And that's the only thing you have to do is wait for them to contact you. The first time they will contact you will be very soon after you apply. They will contact you with the biometric instruction letter. So you will have a letter from them saying that you have, I think it's 90 days or 30 days. I don't remember. It's 30 or 90 days. And they will provide you some time to actually go and book an appointment to give your biometrics. Right? So you go there, you give your biometrics. The biometrics will be sent directly to IRCC. You don't have to do anything. So the center where you go when they get your biometrics, they will send everything to IRCC themselves, so you don't have to do anything. And then you basically wait for them. And at the end of the process, what you'll receive would be a letter of what we call a letter of introduction. So it won't be your study permit. Your study permit you will get in Canada when you come to Canada. So basically, you'll receive a letter of introduction. That letter of introduction you have to give to a border agent when you come to Canada, and they will give you your study permit. Okay. If you need a visa, if you're a citizen from a country where you need a visa, before they give you the letter of introduction, they will send you a letter, a passport, a letter to get your passport. Right? They will send you a passport request. Right? So you have to send your passport to a visa office, and they will stamp the visa on the passport and send you back your passport. If you're from a country that don't need passport, like French, or if you're from France, from Belgium, from Spain, you don't need a visa. So what they will do is that they will give you an ETA number, and this ETA number will be on your introduction letter. Right? So I hope this video helps you, and I hope it was instructive, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and that your application will be successful. And then I hope to see you on campus in Ottawa. Good luck with your application, and good luck for everything. Thank you. Bye.